So, I just watched Hereditary. So I actually watched this movie on, Sunday. It's Wednesday now when I'm filming this, and so I've kind of had time to process, which I needed, because this movie is messed up. I mean, this is something brilliant. I really, really love this movie, but man, does it stay with you after you watch it. I mean, there are scenes in this that are so gruesome and disgusting and genuinely disturbing to see. It does not pull its punches when it comes to some of the imagery, and that's a good thing here. Other films, I kind of like it when things are left to the imagination, but here, they play it off in such a way that when you see the horrifying things, it comes as sort of a culmination, and, the build-up to it is worth it. The characters are all very, very relatable and realistic, and when you see them in this movie, you want them to do well. You want good things to happen for these people, but you know that it won't. You just sort of see all this negative stuff happening and you're like, yeah, this is going to go badly. There's a fairly sizable twist early on in the movie that I won't say what it is here, but suffice to say, due to how the film was marketed, I did not see the event that happens at the end of the first act coming. And that shapes the rest of the movie in a really good way, and that is one of the most shocking moments I've seen in a long time. Probably the only thing I can think of recently that shocked me as much as that did was the bit in Mother where the baby died. This is really good filmmaking when something major happening like that isn't just forgotten about, it changes what the film is and shapes everything afterwards. Toni Collette's performance in this is absolutely, undoubtedly the best performance she has given. I feel like this is an Oscar-worthy performance. She probably won't get it because it's a horror movie. Women in horror movies very rarely get Oscars. Man, she is so good in this. She is in the majority of scenes. She's the closest thing the movie has to a main character, and just sells everything. You feel so much for her. The pain that she has to go through, the delusion she comes under, the hysteria, and then towards the end she starts having some of the scarier moments as well. And it's just watching this, she's yeah, this is... Do we start the campaign for her Oscar now? The young casting are also very good. There's the guy, I don't know his name, but he was the guy out of Jumanji who turned into The Rock, and he's really good. He has to, he goes really far in some of his scenes, and apparently I read a thing online saying that while filming this movie, he actually got a small level of PTSD from filming it. That is some commitment to the role right there. And the young actress who plays Charlie, I will put their names up on the top of the screen because I keep forgetting to look things up before I set the camera up. I'm bad at this. But yes, the young actress who plays Charlie is really, really good. Very unconventional, and I like that. And again, she really pulls some stuff off and gets you emotionally invested. I think who's going to be underrated in this film is Gabriel Byrne as the father. He is just sort of quietly accepting of a lot of things, very supportive, has his moments where he's okay, we need to actually call you out on this. By and large, he is kind of the quietest, calmest performance in it, and I feel like he's probably going to go underlooked, but he is really good. It's well worth discussing. So something that really impressed me in this movie was the sound mix, and I know that's a bit of a nerdy thing to get interested about in a movie, but in a horror movie, particularly, sound mixes are very important, and I really loved what this movie did with it. Everything felt just right. There was moments where something was more or less a jump scare, but it didn't do the jump scare chung. It just let it play out naturally, and it felt better because that will stick with you longer than something just jumping out just to startle you. Here it's part of the foreboding atmosphere of the whole thing. It definitely works. I can see some people might not care for this movie. One, because, like I say, it is shocking and there's points that are kind of repulsive and it will upset you. But also because it moves fairly slowly. They pace. I think it's well paced, but for some people it will be a bit slow. I've seen some people online saying that it's just kind of boring and nothing really happens until the very end. But it's to me that is good pacing. In terms of tone, there's some elements that are kind of slightly reminiscent of Rosemary's Baby, The Witch, The Babadook, but if the ending was just even more bananas. I really like this movie, and I would absolutely recommend you go out and see it if you have a strong stomach for some gruesome imagery and you don't mind having it linger around in your head for a few days with dread And, you know, when you're going to sleep, you might see things behind your eyelids that you aren't expecting to, and oh, God, I'm not going to sleep again, am I? So yeah, I would say that Hereditary is definitely one to watch if you're into that sort of thing. If you don't like good horror movies that are genuinely like haunting and get under your skin, then I recommend watching a video of some cute puppies instead. And if you do watch Hereditary, I recommend watching a video of some cute puppies afterwards.